Tashtilik, this is Tibetv's weekly news on Tibet, His Holiness the Dalai Lama and the Central Tibetan Administration. Let us look at the headlines for the day. His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama inaugurates the Dalai Lama Library and Archives. World leaders sent in greetings on His Holiness's 87th birthday. Former political prisoner Jigme Gyatso dies at 56. Speaker and the Deputy Speaker meet Tibetans in the United States. The Office of Tibet London participates in International Ministerial Conference on Freedom of Religion or Belief. On Wednesday early morning, His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama inaugurated the Dalai Lama Library and Archives in Dharamshala. His Holiness, while speaking to the gathering at the inaugural ceremony, stressed on the importance of setting up schools and monasteries in exile and to keep the Tibetan culture, language and tradition alive and thriving. The objective of this library is to preserve His Holiness's teachings so that people can have access to them. The library is also archiving the teachings of the previous Dalai Lamas. Various awards presented to His Holiness will be collected here and put on display. Altogether, the intention behind this project is to assemble resources for those who wish to research on His Holiness's life and legacy. The construction of this archive building began in the year 2017 and was interrupted by the COVID-19 pandemic and was resumed in 2020. As His Holiness the Dalai Lama turned 87 this Wednesday, greetings poured from the world leaders, prominent personalities and public from all around the world. Dharamshala hosted the Central Tibetan Administration's official program of celebration in the courtyard of Tsuklakang, the main temple of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, on Wednesday morning with an opening message of greetings to His Holiness from the Chief Minister of Himachal Pradesh, Sri Jairam Thakur. The program saw attendance of several other personalities including Gyabje Khandin Tirumbuche, Chonang Gyetsab Rinpoche, the Forest Minister of Himachal Pradesh Rakesh Patania, the Chairman of International Campaign for Tibet Richard Gere, and a former member of Italian Parliament Gianni Vernetti. While addressing the gathering, the guests offered their respects and gratitude to His Holiness the Dalai Lama and reiterated their continued support for the cause of Tibet. While delivering Kashak's statement, Sikyong Pemba Tsering reminded the public the hard work of His Holiness the Dalai Lama in building the very foundation and development of Tibetan settlements, educational and monastic institutes in exile, and His Holiness's tireless effort to strengthen the Tibetan struggle and in resolving the Sino-Tibetan conflict.
The Kashak is carrying out its responsibilities in accordance with the guidance of His Holiness the Dalai Lama and remains committed to fulfilling his aspirations. The 16th Kashak, since its beginning, has been making efforts to bring necessary changes to the administrative structure, alongside ensuring a sound system of governance, executing well-thought-out projects and adopting means to achieve ends as per the changing times.
Speaker Khenpo Sonam Temple delivered the statement of the Tibetan Parliament in exile. The speaker said people across the world, especially the Tibetans, are observing the birthday of His Holiness the Dalai Lama with a feeling of joy, faith and gratitude. The president of the Belgian Buddhist Union offered his well wishes and prayers on the occasion of His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama's 87th birthday. German Parliamentary Group for Tibet and Swiss Parliamentary Group for Tibet also congratulated His Holiness on his birthday. The Bureau of His Holiness the Dalai Lama in New Delhi hosted its annual dinner reception celebrating the 87th birthday of His Holiness the Dalai Lama on Wednesday at India Habitat Centre. India's Minister of State for Culture Srimati Meenakshi Lekhi attended the reception as the chief guest. Also present were Indian Minister of State for Law Shri S.P. Singh Baghel, Rajya Sabha MP Shri A.D. Singh and Srimati Rinchen Lhamo, a member of National Commission for Minorities. Nearly 60 diplomats from various embassies based in New Delhi attended the dinner reception, including ambassadors, and charged the affairs of 17 countries, including the United States, Germany, Austria, Denmark, Taiwan, Botswana, Chile, Ecuador, etc. Other world leaders and policymakers sent in their birthday wishes to His Holiness the Dalai Lama, including the United States Secretary of State Antony Blinken, who issued a statement wishing His Holiness on his birthday. The Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, tweeted that he wished His Holiness over the telephone a very long life and a good health. Australian Senator Rice and Senator Jordan Steele John, Australian Greens spokesperson for Foreign Affairs, extended their wishes to His Holiness on his birthday. The French Senate Friendship Group, jointly with the Office of Tibet Paris, celebrated the 87th birthday of His Holiness the Dalai Lama at the Senate Hall in Paris. The event was attended by about 35 participants consisting of senators, ambassador of Taiwan, Tibet supporters and representatives of Tibetan associations. Geneva observed the historic event on His Holiness's birthday as the Tibetan national flag and the Buddhist flag were hoisted for the first time at Parc de Tibet in Geneva. The Tibetan national flag was hoisted by the representative of His Holiness the Dalai Lama Tile Chugi from Tibet Bureau Geneva and the former mayor of Onyx and Swiss parliamentarian René Longuet, who is currently the chief coordinator of Swiss-Tibet Friendship Association in the French-speaking section. The Buddhist flag was hoisted by the Vice President of Tibetan Community of Switzerland and Liechtenstein, Tenzin Wandu, and Lama Kunzang. The flags will be permanently hoisted at the park. Devotees in Taiwan sought an online audience with His Holiness the Dalai Lama and celebrated his birth anniversary. The celebration was joined by Deputy Mayor of Taipei City, Huang Shenshen, who extended birthday wishes to His Holiness before His Holiness delivered a short teaching to the devotees. To the audience that day, His Holiness said he was born as a Tibetan in a small village in Amdo province of Tibet in this life, but he will choose to reincarnate in a place where there is a greater need for service. His Holiness said he will certainly live for another 20 to 30 years at minimum to serve humanity. Sources report death of the former Tibetan political prisoner Jigme Gyatso. Sources say Jigme Gyatso passed away on July 2, 2022 at the age of 56 after being in a poor health since his release from prison in 2016. Other media reports indicate that Jigme could have survived if the Chinese government had not denied him and his family access to emergency medical treatments on multiple occasions when he needed to recuperate from the injuries he sustained while in prison. Jigme Gyatso came into prominence after he testified in a 2009 video about the brutal treatments he suffered from Chinese authorities, which was widely circulated on internet. Gyatso was first detained in the year 2006. Then the Chinese authorities arrested him again in the year 2008 when he was severely beaten in the police custody and was released after a year without any formal charges when his detention proved fatal. In the year 2010, he was arrested again and held in a hotel for 6 months for the so-called political re-education before he was released again without charges. In the year 2011, he was sentenced to 5 years in prison by the Kanlo People's Intermediate Court in Kansu for allegedly splitting the nation. Following his release on 26 October 2016, Chinese officials warned his family members not to organize a welcome reception. In addition, Gyatso was advised never to wear the monk's robe and never to return to his monastery. Jigme Gyatso hails from Labrang town in Sangchu County, Kanlo Tibetan Autonomous Prefecture in Gansu Province, in the traditional Tibetan province of Amdo. The Speaker of the Tibetan Parliament in Exile, Khenpo Sonam Tempel, and the Deputy Speaker, Doma Tsiring Tekang, along with the parliamentarians of the Tibetan Parliament in Exile, attended the 38th birthday celebration of Gyawang Gamapa Rinpoche in New York. The Speaker and the Deputy Speaker also addressed the Tibetan community of New York and New Jersey during a lunch reception hosted by the community. Speaker Khenpo Sonam Tempel, in his address, updated the public on declaration adopted by the 8th World Parliamentarians Convention on Tibet held in Washington, D.C., and urged the Tibetans to take every available opportunity to offer their contributions to the cause of Tibet and maintain unity and harmony in the community. Deputy Speaker Doma Tsiring Tekang reminded the Tibetan community the need for people's cooperation for the elected leaders of Tibetans to further the issue of Tibet on the global platform. Speaker Khenpo Sonam Tempel also attended the Tibet Festival in Connecticut. Organized by the Tibetan Association of Connecticut, the 3-day annual festival celebrates the rich Tibetan culture. Representative Sonam Frasi and Secretary Locho Samten had the chance to meet and learn from like-minded activists from diverse faith backgrounds and raise awareness about the situation inside Tibet at a question-answer session and through one-to-one discussions with ministerial delegates at the International Ministerial Conference on Freedom of Religion or Belief. At the conference, long-time staunch Tibet supporters such as Lord Alton and Sam Brownback, the former U.S. Ambassador at Large for International Religious Freedom, were also present as speakers. The 2-day conference on freedom of religion or belief, organized by the United Kingdom government's Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, has brought together civil society and ministerial delegates of partner countries to work together on international efforts to protect and promote freedom of religion or belief for all, prevent violations of freedom of religion or belief. That is all for this week's edition of Tibet This Week. See you in the next episode. Have a good weekend.